much.
So, we continue with the last pitch of the day, which is a company in kraftwerk. Couldn't be a better German name than this. So, Kraftwerk produces solid oxide fuel cells, which is kind of a bit of the holy grail of fuel cells. Very interesting technology, widely applicable across many different areas. So, I'm personally very keen to hear how they addressing the challenge of solid oxide fuel cells. Please join us.
Thank you. Yeah, hello everyone. So I'm really happy to introduce you to the future of mobility and also to the future, what we think of the next generation of fuel cell technologies. So why are we doing that? So we are really focusing on the largest problem the world is currently facing, global warming. And for us, it's really key to think of how to solve the problem. And it really came down on thinking that innovation and technology is the key. So therefore, we're fighting for saving the planet and our economy. So how did we do that? We really started with fundamental research quite a while ago. And now we're now able to establish one of the rare fuel cell manufacturers there and precision of the whole supply chain. So now we have a B2B company starting with automotive and aviation sector and small and mid-sized applications, producing fuel cells for the next generation. But what's the key about the fuel cell? It's actually in my pocket. So that's the cell we developed. And this cell is a high temperature fuel cell that has an amazing advantage. For example, we can use the extra efficiency and heat to heat or cool the car. But also in addition to that, this fuel cell gets rid of platinum. So it's extremely low cost with a target price below 50 euros per kilowatt. Also in addition to that, since we started with material science and nanotechnologies, we were able to do quick startups within just 3 seconds and almost unlimited cycling. But what we also think is key on a fuel cell is the fuel itself. So we were able to do a fuel flexibility. So we can use hydrogen, and the key is green hydrogen for a lot of various different applications, but we also can do almost every other hydrocarbons, including methane, ammonia, or other e-fuels. They're key on the market, and you also can be flexible, whatever you can use to lower the CO2 emissions and the carbon footprint of your technology. But also last but not least, we were able to implement a mass production facility, and you can interconnect the cell and whatever voltage and power output you want. So we already established a company in the United States and Europe and Asia, have customers all over the place, and we're really happy to have an extensive advisory board including Professor James Sweeney from Stanford or Dr. Tom Rice from Plug and Play. The company has a history since it started 20 years ago with fundamental research. Unfortunately, on the way to go to market, it went into a bankruptcy process in 2015. But since we went in 2016, we did a turnaround, and therefore we're now right back to the stage with the technology to enter the market. And this was just happening with an incredible founding team, with the technology founder, Dr. Sascha Kühn, also myself, that joined a little later, since I'm under 30 still. But with this team, we were able to start the company with a new approach and enter the market. But what's the breakthrough? It's a cell. It's a cell with the new nanolayers. For example, we're using now nickel as a catalyst instead of platinum, which is why we can be incredibly cheap. We put those into stacks, which is already in a standardized process, and those stacks then come into a box, which is already also standardized in our mass production facility, within 250 and 500 watt per box, and then you can interconnect those boxes whatever voltage and power output you need. So therefore, the customer is flexible, and we have a standardized mass production process. So therefore, it's 20 years of fundamental research and production and development, secured by more than 10 international patents. And therefore, you're now really ready to enter the world with a mass production facility, starting with the ground powders, producing the cell, the stack, and also the box. And really happy to look up for further partnerships right now. So this is why we already invested almost $6 million in ourselves, since we're a bootstrapped company, into our facility, starting now also with a lot of robotics to automate the production process to become even more efficient, since we're already at a stage where we have a capacity in a production of 750 kilowatts per week. And this is really now the time to start through within our business models, what I already explained in transportation sector, including powertrains and engine. Then we're also focusing on the aviation sector, where we're also focusing on drones, but also in the civil airspace so far already, and small and mid-sized applications for power, emergency power output, but also portable power. And in every sector, we already have paying customers. They gave us the ability to come further with our technology. And the new sector we also now focusing on is, of course, the reverse mode of the fuel cell, producing hydrocarbons through efficient energy processing. So that's what I meant, like we're already profitable since the very first day because we had to within our company. We're really looking forward to an extensive market growth over the next couple of months and years. So this is really where we're now looking forward to grow even faster. We started a financing round just right now, already have the first terms included, partnerships closed, but really open for also more investors to join this amazing journey to hopefully disrupt the world and become a cleaner future. So therefore, thanks a lot, and yeah, really looking forward.
Thank you very much, Martin. You are playing in a very interesting space, but also a very crowded space. So how do you, what's the target market you're going for? I mean, we have electrification, we have e-fuels. Where is the space for the fuel cell in the market?
So this is why we really were focusing on the niches markets, like for example on air vehicles like drones, where it's really key to have a fuel cell that's ultralight, quick startable, and also in the air you need to be flexible on the fuel. So therefore, really starting with the niche markets, also the handheld power devices, like the small backup power devices, where there's not that much crowd space of other fuel cells right now. And also in the mobility sector, there's no other SOFC company that's able to do a portable SOFC fuel cell as we can do with this microtubular cell. And therefore, this is really where we saw the niches where we're entering right now, where we don't have that much of a competition.
Okay. So this would be long-haul transport and as well, or?
Yeah, for example, this is also a target market we're looking at. There is already a competition in it, but of course also there is various niches where we're really also looking right now, also markets where it's probably key to also think of not just hydrogen infrastructure for a long term, right?
So yeah, of course, that's a benefit of the solid oxide fuel cells. You have multiple inputs. What is the efficiency that you guys are able to gain? Typical fuel cells about 60%. Have you been able to up that a little bit?
Yeah, so this is really why I'm so proud that we started with materials science and nanotech. So therefore, we are now between 65 and 85% efficiency in the system.
Congratulations. That's very impressive. Okay. Last question would be on what's the total addressable market for the technology that you are looking at?
That's a tough one. It's quite huge, and it's even expanding what we see. So the market, if you asked me like 5 years ago, would be really, really small. But as you see, like 10 months ago, it started to rapidly grow. Like if batteries have their use cases in urban mobility and other applications, we see in the fuel cell sector, even now civil airspace is going into that, which is incredibly big. And also, if you look into new technologies like the unarmed, like drones, they also now, a lot of them going public, getting a lot of money, but also they need a new type of technology. And there's this new markets even popping up. So we're looking into a multi-trillion-dollar business market and an opportunity right here.
Okay. Sounds very promising. So thank you very much, Martin, for
thank you guys.
telling us more about Kraftwerk.
Great. Yeah, thanks a lot, everyone.